The topic for today is talk about the home buyers, the real estate home buyers. Wake up! Before it's too late. All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. This is the regular Monday market update that I am going to warning the buyer a little bit about the current market condition. And for the reason is that we are going to look at one of the slide right here. Let's see. Sorry, I couldn't see the slide. They do something change here. That's why I couldn't know where to show you the information. All right. So let's see right here. Right. Sorry about that. Here is the this chart right here showing the accepted contract versus the back on the market. Now the back on market has been a very reasonable flat lines, or is not too much of the problem that we are too much of the signal that we should talk about here. The signal that we are talking about here is right here. You see that since around the beginning of January, we see the significantly increase of the accepted contract. Now, why accepted contract is important? Accepted contract indicates the demand of the real estate market. And if the demand of the real estate market supply keep the same, the price could improve, could increase. Okay. Now we are in this situation right here. Some of you asking the reason. One of the reason is that here the interest rate for since May of 2022, but that is not big of a concern as well. The thing is, we see right here, this period right here from the beginning of January 2022, we see that there's a reduce in the interest rate. And for that reason, immediately the demand goes up. Now, there's a couple of things that we have to draw a conclusion about this. This signal indicates that the demand, the buyers are still there, okay? They're just waiting for the period that the interest rate go lower, and they're gonna jump in right away. In fact, for every week for the last 4 weeks of 2023, we already see about 2,000 accepted contract every week. So while it is not the same number of 2022, however, though, we see the constant there. Interest rate helps a lot of people making the decision right now to jump in because it's go lower. It's not 2 or 3, right? But it's at least lower than before. As you see, I'm going to show you again. So this is the period right here where it goes down, okay? Where it goes down. Now we do see a little bit this week right here, a little bit interest rate increase a little bit, 6.9 to 6.12, very minimal, okay? And we do see there's a reduce in the demand as well. So they intercorrelate. Very good. I don't know if that is a word or not, but basically they're moving in the opposite direction. Let's do that. Let's use that word easier, right? It moves to the opposite direction. As interest rate goes higher, demand go down. Interest rate go lower, demand go crazily higher, as you see right here. Okay, so why is that the buyer has to wake up? The thing is that the buyer is still there on the market and just waiting. Okay, so if you are waiting and waiting and waiting, you may be having a good interest rate on the market. However, you probably gonna go back to the same situation of competing war between a lot of buyers on the market when they come back. Because if you come back, probably a lot of people also come back as well. And therefore, in that situation, as I told you, when the demand goes higher, the supply the same, the price can go up, and that time you might have to pay higher than now. All right. In fact, for a lot of buyers in today's market, I would advise that pick a number, pick a percentage of the home price that you are comfortable with paying, and we're gonna try to find a house that the seller is willing to negotiate in that price range that you want. The third warning that I talk about, that I want to tell the buyers, is that be more reasonable in your offer right now. I know that a lot of people thinking about 20%, 30%, 40% reduction from the asking price. But what if the asking price already low, right? Compared to the market value, right? Then you should make that offer instead of go further down. You have to look at the value, the market value, to see whether it is at that price range or not, right? And if it is already below the market price range, perhaps we shouldn't do any further negotiation because you already have a deal already, all right? Be careful because you may lose some property for other buyers as well. You may lose the property that you like to other buyers as well. Okay, so those are the three warnings that that I'm telling the buyers right now. Because of the current situation, we see that the interest rate dictate the movement of the market a lot. Okay, I already show you the interest rate right here. Then you don't have to, we don't have to talk about that. There's a period that is reduced about 6.09, and then it's increased a little bit to 6.12 right now, and the market moving follow it very, very closely. Okay, overall, now here's another warning signal to the buyers. Okay, overall, the comfort market is right around 118. Okay, 118. What does that mean? Okay, this is the overall of the entire greater Phoenix market, right? If you follow my channel, you know that if it is higher than 110, it is actually a seller market. Okay, in a seller market, you're gonna be the buyer is gonna losing a lot of negotiation power. The buyers are gonna end up losing a lot of negotiation power. And while this is not a very strong seller market yet, but if you keep waiting and more people coming back on the market, you end up gonna pay more. Okay, you end up gonna be increasing the comfort market index, and therefore it's gonna go further down to the seller market. Why can I say that? This is a very strong trend for the last couple of weeks already. The last number that I want to show you, the last chart that I want to show you is this one right here. This is an extremely different chart than the last chart I show you, by the way. Now, if you follow, okay, anything that less than 90 is a buyer market, which is right now only 4 left. Okay, there's a period that the entire 17 cities that are in the buyer markets, but right now there's only 4 left in the buyer market. From surprise, from 90 to about 110, okay, so which is only 2 cities, that's going to be in the balanced market. And you know what happened to the rest? The rest is in the seller market right now, which is, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so that you can see better. Looking at the chart right here, right? If it is higher than 110, you are in a seller market. Okay, this is in the balance, and this is in the buyer market. All right, so we don't have a lot of property in the buyer's market anymore. You don't have a lot of area in the buyer's market anymore, as you expect. Most of the area is the outside, like Green Creek, Maricopa, Buckeye, very far away from Great Phoenix. So if you do have a good deal right now, these are the cities that you can potentially have a highest potential of negotiation, power of negotiation. Okay, good deal as well. But if you are looking for a more central, especially Chandler is growing very fast for the last couple of weeks as well. It is now almost reaching Fountain Hills, right, which is losing, while Chandler is still like 28% increase compared to last month. So this is a significant increase of all the like kind of the southeast area, like you see Chandler here, Mesa and Tempe and Gilbert, they're all in the sellers market already, right? Although it's not as strong as 2021 and 2022, but it's still in the seller market, and the buyers in these market already, maybe you already lose some of the negotiation power already. Okay, so buyers, hurry, right? If you're thinking about waiting for the market to further go down, potentially it's not a good strategy, because of course no one knows the future for sure, right? But as of right now, we see that the buyers start losing the negotiation power. Now, here's the thing: if the interest rate goes up again, then there's going to be, of course, less demand, and of course this number going to go down. Okay, who knows? All right, what if the interest rate goes down, which is the thing that a lot of buyers are waiting. A lot of buyers are waiting for interest rate to go down, but But you have to think, if you are waiting for that to go down, a lot of other people also are, right? And therefore, when the interest rate goes down, a lot of people are going to come back to the market. And at that time, there's a strong demand go up, and the seller going to gain more negotiation power when there are a lot of people looking at the property. Okay, so this is still at the very early stage, and the buyers are still have some negotiation power for some of the property. But if you are waiting for too long, you're potentially losing that chance. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. That is all I have in this video. If you do have any questions or have any concern about the real estate market, feel free to text me, call me, message me, and I can answer to you directly. Thank you so much. Bye bye.